Welcome, everyone, to the Hardin Local Weekly Podcast. I am Rachel Brantingham. This week, the whole county is pointed at one place, White Mills. The 51st annual White Mills Days is Friday and Saturday. Vendors, a duck race on the Nolin River, a free concert, and fireworks on Friday night. Then a parade, a 5K, and a barbecue chicken dinner Saturday. We'll give you the highlights. I know we've talked about this, but we cannot emphasize this enough. It's going to be the event you're not going to want to miss. But the full schedule, of course, lives on our website at hardinlocal.com. Here's your homework. While you watch, the icebreaker question coming up in a few minutes is,
I think we
what
changed
is
it.
your,
We
yeah,
changed it.
what it, we went
What
with
did we
best.
change it to, Britten? Changed it last second. Britten.
Favorite back to school traditions.
Yeah, perfect. So, your favorite back to school tradition. We can't wait to hear what your all's is. And stick around today because later in the show, we've got a big announcement about a brand new show. So, you won't want to miss that information. Also, today, we're doing something a little different in place of our usual guest interview. Instead, Jon and Phil, are going to spend some time on Bourbon Local, the newest thing we've been building. It's got its own show, its own host, and it goes live for the first time this Sunday night at 9. We'll tell you everything a little later in the show. Nate's got business buzz, and it is a loaded one this week. The city finally spoke about Wawa, the situation, and Phil's got more to add on that. Plus, a sushi spot is closing after 13 years. A double grand opening and a sneak peek at a brand new spot at Social Food Hall. And I've got your housing market update. The headline this week is simple. The buyers are paying attention to value, not just price. Let's bring up the crew. I want to introduce you to everyone. I've got Phil Tall, who is our co-host and producer. I've got Scott Lucas, who is my co-host. Jon O'Brien, who brings us the events and happenings and that beautiful beard. We've got Nate Bryan with our business news and updates. And I've got Britten McDowell with us from the Experienced Eater. Everyone is on. All right. So if you're watching live, tell us where you're watching from in the comments. We love to interact with our audience. So we want to know where you're watching from. And make sure to like the page, share the stream, and hit subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss us. Everything we talk about today, guys, it is all available at hardinlocal.com. I cannot emphasize enough that you're going to want to sign up for the newsletter that, excuse me, automatically comes to your inbox. And so it's free. You're going to want to do that. And then, of course, go there for any information in regards to anything that we discussed today. Excuse me. I've been fighting a summer cold, and this thing will not go away. Before we get into the fun stuff, a couple quick things. First, mark your calendars for Friday and Saturday at the beginning of the show. White Mills Days is the 51st annual this year, and it's a big one. Jon, of course, has got the full rundown in just a few minutes. And one more heads up before school gets fully back into its rhythm. Elizabethtown's Independent's first day of school is Wednesday. Hardin County students already started last week, so this is the last first day of school morning of the season. Buses, of course, are all over the roads. School zones are live. So make sure you give yourself some extra time because, of course, it's unique to get back in the rhythm of like, oh yeah, I've got to wait for the school bus on my typical commute to work. So make sure you leave with a little advance notice. Before we move on, I want to flag something for you because you're going to hear us mention it a couple of times today. This episode is presented by Bourbon Local. That's Hardin Local's new sister show. Phil, you want to take this one since you're one of the people behind it?
Yeah, full disclosure up front. Bourbon Local is something I'm building alongside Jon O'Brien, who's on, our events guy, and then Jessica Simlick. Think of it as Hardin Local's cousin, but it has a much larger audience, all of Bourbon Country, basically all of Kentucky. And the entire show is going to be built around that word bourbon, but it's going to be so much more. It'll be a cultural show, events, and news and the bourbon industry and different things like that. So pilot episode, which we're calling episode 0, goes live this Sunday, August 16th, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be streaming that live on Facebook and on X, and we would stream it on YouTube. We'll walk through all of this, who's hosting it, what the show actually is, and tease about a special guest that we're having later in the show. Stick around. And also, before I give it back to you, Rachel, I had added something else that I wanted to say. So yeah, our flock camera report reached more people, or at least got more engagement than anything we've really ever made. Close to 7,000 comments and replies across those posts. More than 100 of those comments crossed the line. Threats, slurs, people tearing into their neighbors. And they sat there in the public for longer than I'd like to admit. I didn't see them, not because I didn't care, but because I couldn't keep up with 7,000 comments on my own. And a viewer had to tell me. That's the part that bothers me the most. Since then, we've gone back through the visible comments on these posts and hid across the line. Hid, not deleted, nothing is gone. We didn't get it out of our audit log. And when we checked our own work, we found 11 comments we'd hidden that were people who had actually made real arguments, who got caught for one insult along the way. I did bring those back, but if we hid yours and there was a real point, message us and I'll put it back. But here's the thing. Here's where we land going forward, though. Come at the cameras, come at the police, come at us and our reporting. As blunt as you want, that stays up. That's the whole point of a local news. But hate, threats, or cruelty aimed at your neighbors gets you removed. We won't catch everyone, so I'm asking for help. If you see one, report it or tag me. It took 9 days last time. I'd like it to be 9 minutes. The full statement and our comment policy post will be on Facebook today, but we will be giving out lifetime bans for any type of hateful speech, threats, or anything that crosses the line. We're just not going to put up with it. Tried to allow all public comments and never hide anything, but this story has shown me that that's not feasible for our page.
That's unfortunate. Adults who can't be adults.
Yeah.
Go figure. Who knew?
That's all I have.
Well, okay. Well, certainly transitioning to a lighter note. Appreciate you sharing that with the audience, Bill, and we so agree. We love open discussion, and that's the whole point of our show. But certainly appreciate it to be conducted in a appropriate manner. So thank you, Phil, for that. So real quickly, guys, I want to go through this icebreaker. Like I said, much lighter topic, but I want to hear about your favorite back to school tradition, maybe from growing up, or it could be something that you currently have as a tradition if you have kiddos. Or I think John's going. Oh, Britton's going first. I love the hand raise, Britton. Way to take it.
So as a kid growing up, I grew up down on the big water at Kentucky Lake, and so my last day of freedom is what it's called. So the day before school started, my dad would take me to do whatever I wanted to do, and most of the time that involved taking the boat out, going fishing, and spending the day on the lake. So I did that until from the time I was probably first grade until probably fifth grade. And so that translated with my kids. Then they each before school started, they got the day before school started, they got a chance to go do whatever they wanted to do, which is really cool because when we came to Hardin County School, they always gave us the day before the first day of school as a day off, trick us to work into our rooms for free. And so I'd always take that day to spend it with my kids and be able to go do something with Eli. And then by the time Georgia got to school age, I was out of teaching, so we still had that tradition of a day of, and with her it might have been shopping or they go to their favorite restaurant, but it was a day just for dad and kid quality, have that quality time before they get busy. Because sad fact is that by the time your kids are like 12 or 14, you've spent 80% of all the time you're going to spend with them for their whole life is spent with them from birth until about 12 years old, and then after that you're begging.
For me, I think it's like a tradition of how great I can procrastinate getting all this supplies and everything. Kind of like when I go Christmas shopping. This year I did a little bit better though, but I was still out yesterday.
That's hilarious. I think ours is I usually take the boys to get haircuts and a pair of shoes. So they can pick whatever shoes they want for the school season. And now this year, I will say, they're getting older. Neither one of them wanted haircuts before school. In fact, they pushed adamantly back on me that they liked their hair longer. So they've officially entered the cool era of whatever the teen boys are wearing, which looks kind of like a llama. It just kind of is everywhere. So
the broccoli heads.
Do what?
The broccoli head.
Yes. I said, y'all don't want at least trimmed around the ears and around your neck? No. I did tell their dad the other day, I was like, okay, we have to pull a hard stop on this. Like it's getting out of control. Their heads are starting to look like John's beard. It's just everywhere. So. Any other back to school, your favorite back to school traditions? Any of you guys?
I didn't really have one. Mine was kind of a cross between Rachel's and Phil's, school supply shopping and usually shoes, but it wasn't a certain shoe store. It wasn't a certain shoe. It was us going to Target or Walmart or Staples, Office Depot. It's just kind of where we went. I think usually that last Friday before, I probably had friends over and played games and had pizza, but it wasn't like anything that we really had to do, especially now that you've got school starting. Back when I think me and John were doing, I think schools usually started on a Monday. So there wasn't any of this, hey, let's start Thursday or Friday at the end of the week. So it was always on, like you had that Friday to kind of prepare, but that Sunday night you were going to bed because you had school that Monday.
Yeah, and it seems like school has started so much earlier this year. August 6th was our first day, and it came by surprise. I couldn't believe that summer was already over. Scott, John, you got anything to add to all of this?
I got nothing. We didn't have any kind of tradition like that or anything.
Yeah, same here. There's no tradition.
Our homeschool tradition was we never knew when school would start, except that one day mom would wake up and be like, okay, we're starting school tomorrow. And so my mom would just, it was kind of whenever she got organized and was ready to launch the curriculum. So I just remember our summers always were way longer than everyone else's. And it was like, oh no, mom woke up ready. So there wasn't really a tradition around it because it was just kind of whatever happened. So to all you homeschool parents out there. All right, well, we're going to jump into events with John. You ready to take it away? Let's get your jingle.
Got the wrong one.
J-O-B, where you gotta be. Events all weekend, Hardin County. J-O-B, where you gotta be. Come on, turn it up, tune it, Hardin County.
All right. So like Rachel said earlier, White Mills Days this weekend, big time. Friday, they've got concessions and vendors will be opening at 5 p.m. Touch a Truck, 5 to 7. So those are fun times to kind of check out those response vehicles, fire trucks, ambulances. I think last year they said they brought in a helicopter, which is pretty cool. The pedal pull registration is at 6 p.m. Cakewalk, mini train ride, Kid Zone. That was a lot of fun for kids last year, I saw. And then also there's a ton of games for adults as well. The hog and husband calling contest. That's a big one, 6:30. That was interesting last year as well. They had some pretty stiff competition there. 7 p.m. is the 4th annual rubber duck race. So make sure you go buy one of those rubber ducks, Rachel. I know you're gonna get a couple of those. Put some money in there, try to win. And then the free concert 8 to 9:30. The Tri-County reunion featuring Oakley Strader, and then fireworks after that. So a fun time on that Friday. Saturday it starts early. There's the guided bike ride at 8 a.m. Probably get there a little early. Try to get ready beforehand, and then the parade 9 a.m. It'll be up there starting at 10, and then 11:30 they got the barbecue chicken dinner, air conditioned hotel dining room, $14. Always a tasty lunch, and then there's a car show, tractor show, and swimming at $5 for that. And there is a lifeguard on duty for that, so that's always good too, because you got to have one of those people out there taking care of things. It's organized by the White Mills Civic League, chaired by Laura Knoll. She was on, and she gave us all that good information.
It's going to be a fun time, I think. Yeah. I think it's
going to be a fun time.
Yeah, and I got
like I said, we went last year
up there. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can see that. And also just
see that out.
Go
Go to the website.
Yeah, go to the website too. You know.
Yeah. Always can go to the website. We have some other things going on this week, though. Pretty interesting things happen Saturday at 8 a.m. Program starts at 8:30 at First Christian. Jason Missy Robertson of Duck Dynasty. So he may love that show. Loves duck calling. They will be there. It's $25 to go. It benefits the help.
There, John. Well, why John back? Yeah, while John's coming back, I'll just read off that. Or Rachel, I know that you know about this.
I do. So I'm super excited about this event. I could still hear John talking, so I guess maybe I could still hear him and all that. But anyway, Helping Hand for Hope, which is an incredible organization in our community. I'm so proud to sit on the board for that organization. But they do so much for the people in our community. John, are you back? You want to take it away?
I think I'm back. We'll see.
I kind of
didn't
stole
even know I
your
was
spotlight
gone.
there for a minute.
You're fine. I didn't even know I was gone till I heard it, and it was weird that I heard that I was gone, but that's okay.
You take it
But
away.
yeah, you know more about the Helping Hand of Hope. It's the 55th anniversary, right?
It is, and you know they're making a push to bring in more funds, especially with how difficult last winter was. We had such a great need for food and bedding and clothing, and so you know we're so excited to have these guys coming to the area, the Richardsons, and you know so you've got what John reminded me. We have Friday evening and Saturday morning, so it's a 2-part event. I'll be, of course, serving. So you'll see me out there. I'll be helping behind the scenes to make both events happen. But you can come by First Christian Church, like John was saying. Tickets are $25 at the door.
All right, yeah. So again, if you always wanted to check them out, meet them. I've had many people walk up to me and ask me if I was on the show. If you are one of those people that want to meet somebody, this is the time to do it. Talk about a little bit of whiskey. Michter's tasting will be at Cavern Club on Wednesday, 6 to 9 p.m. So there's a Michter's pour flight, bourbon, the rye. They're also going to be doing Black Manhattans, discounted pours, and merch drawing. So if you are interested in Michter's does some great stuff. They make one of my favorite whiskeys. They make Shanks, which is a French oak aged sour mash whiskey that's very good. Go check it out at Cameron Club. Also, we have the NWTF Heartland Chapter Jake's Day, Saturday at 8 a.m. to noon. It's a Don Hunting Preserve. It's free to all youth 16 and under. Fishing, archery, clay shooting, BB gun range. Lunch will be provided. Again, 8 to 6. If you want to start your hunter education certification, that's a good spot. And summer is officially open. Free signal at once. E-Town Independent first day is Wednesday. So tomorrow, Sports Park sits empty this week for the first time in months. No tournaments, anything like that. American Legion Water Park is closed for the season on Sunday. So if you want to get in there, you got a little bit of time, but not much. Also, a Radcliffe City Council work session Monday at 5 p.m. covering the ALPR and facial recognition policy. Again, all the things that they talked about in E-Town, they're going to be talking about up there in Radcliffe. Oh, me. That's maybe about a third of what we actually have. There's a lot of stuff going on.
There is. There's so much.
Go to the website. There's so much stuff. Go to the website. All the stuff's on there. Make sure that you subscribe, and you'll get all that info of all the things that are going on in Hardin County.
Yes. And yeah, guys, make sure you go to hardinlocal.com/this-week, or just go to hardinlocal.com. You'll find it there. You and go to this everything week.
Are we jingling him out before I take over?
We are. For some reason, our agenda has way too many comments in it now. It's kind of hard to follow. Update that.
J-O-B, where you gotta be. Vince always.
Thank you so much, John. Super excited about this week. And like John referenced and Phil referenced, there's so many events that we could not possibly take the time to talk about every single one of them. So first of all, if you have an event that you want to have on hardinlocal.com, either through the podcast and or through our events page, make sure you get with, go on hardinlocal.com and submit that, or get with Phil or John. We would love to have that on the page because obviously we want to expose those to our community. But also, just so you know, hardinlocal.com is your resource. I have like pages of events that we do not have time to get to. And I would love, like, some of these are so cool. So obviously you're never going to know about them if you don't go to hardinlocal.com. So make sure you jump over there right after this podcast so you can have that information. All right, we are going to jump into one of the loved segments of our show, which is with Nate Bryan and the Business Buzz.
If business is buzzing in town, Nate already knows it's Nate's Business Buzz.
Yeah, Nate's Business Buzz.
We just have to say, Nate, you're not in your kitchen, so you need to tell us where you're at right now.
You're muted. You need to unmute you. Nate, unmute yourself. There you go.
Oh yeah, Nate is live at Off the Clock, Easttown's newest and hippest spot that they allowed me to invade. Cameron Davis is working behind me. I don't think she wants to say hi, but she did smile. This place is gorgeous. They have done a lot of work. I remember I came up here years ago with Cameron and Todd, bought this place. It obviously looks quite different. I love the graphic that Phil has done here. Off the Clock. It is elevated cocktails, curated bourbon, small bites, and they will have some food. They have a small kitchen. It's the second floor of this family, so when you come up, you will go. We actually don't want you to use those stairs by the social food hall. You want to use the ones by outside by Cuddy's and Bugbear. And I have a video that Phil will have. There's a fun, awesome entrance that they're going to have. So that's the entrance that you'll be using. But it's upstairs. It's basically to the left of the overlook. There's a great outdoor space, which I may walk back if I don't lose my Wi-Fi here. Yeah, let's go outside. It'll be fun without falling down. It'll be nice. This is Nate's first live on location and everything. So yeah, we have a lovely
cool.
outdoor space that holds about 50 people or so.
So that's on the roof?
It is on rooftop. So yeah, so this is the rooftop. So I'll show you where it comes out. I kind of had to ask that same question. It's something that you've seen all the time when you park here, but you don't really recognize until you're here. Once I go down these stairs right here, now people have seen that sign. But basically, it's the stairs right next to the social food hall where Flavor Meets Fun, right across from the great mural. So yeah, so this is where the stairs pop out. So I love these chairs and tables. I love the lighting. This place probably holds at least 50 up here. They can do all sorts of stuff. Hopefully, I didn't lock myself out because that would be very bad. It's very hot out here. Yeah, so we're walking right down. They redid the stairs right here, which you really can't see. This bar holds about 12 people, and it is massive with everything that they have as far as what they have. Plus, they're really excited about this. I don't know if John or Scott or you guys are excited, but they have a cigar bar.
Do they
I don't
have
do
like
cigars, I don't smoke.
They have official speakeasy door? Have to knock on it?
Yes, they have an official speakeasy door that there's a speakeasy door that you will use. And there's also another door for the vault, which is the personal tasting room that they have. So yeah, let's do a rock around. So that this opens this month, right, Cameron? Cameron said yes. So if the woman says yes, then I say yes. This is Caleb. Hey guys.
Hey.
This is Caleb, general manager. Phil will have a video with us. Caleb would like something to walk through. About 10-minute walk through. Do we know about what time frame the next couple weeks? Do we have any?
We're going to be doing the 20th. That'll be kind of soft opening and then rolling into our hours of operation on that Friday and Saturday.
I'm glad y'all had me out today.
Can you
Go
ask
ahead,
him
Phil.
what
I
he's,
can hear you.
Can you ask him what he's most excited about?
What are you
place
most
opening?
Do you hear him? What you most
Yeah. Really the intentionality behind it. I really feel like we tried to not miss any stops when it came to just little details, executing on the drinks, and we're in the training process of getting staff up and ready and everything. So just trying to make sure that we open up doors with a perfect run, honestly. So.
Nice. All right, and that kind of ties into the Bourbon Local. I'm sure that they'll be featured more and more with y'all's Bourbon Local show that y'all are doing up. But we'll get the first news. It happened over the weekend. Wawa. This bill was actually July 20th. The city has put out a statement, has put up a Facebook post. They came with Wawa to put out a joint statement as well. Phil and I have been working together on this. Phil has done a lot of the legwork as far as open director's requests and looking up stuff. So, Phil, I'm going to let you take away a little bit more about what we know at this point with Wawa.
And I got my notes all messed up. So, yeah, now I'm back. All right, it is and something I wanted to add because Hardin Local didn't just wait on that statement. We filed open records requests last week. Okay, and we got Hardin County 911 dispatch logs for that night, and it lines up roughly with what the city's saying is still in that same range, 1,500 and two. Sorry about that, got feedback in there. A spill in the range of 1,500 to 2,000 gallons. Here's the part that's genuinely still unexplained, and I want to be precise about this. Kentucky's Environmental Emergency Response Branch has been overseen. This was never a case of nobody being told. What our records show is that 911 wasn't called until about 4 hours after this spill happened. That gap, not a missing report, is the part we're still digging into. We haven't got all our data back, and so the spill was reported. State environmental officials responded. The open question is just why it took roughly 4 hours to make the first 911 call, and then why it took. That's all.
Thank Phil for that. We as we continue to get information, we will continue to update what we do have. Bill's the one that's got the video, and they even sent us something by accident that they didn't mean to. When you ask for certain stuff, obviously stuff gets grouped together. And Phil was smart enough to say, "Hey, this wasn't us. We're not watching this. We're deleting this. We want no part of this. We only want what we want." It's not fair that we sent us something that wasn't ours. So I think Phil was very honest there and say, "Hey, we just need what we need. We don't need anything else." But we will continue to update that more. But Wawa right now, as you can tell, I've had photos on my Facebook for days. I've had videos posted. I'm thinking late September, because fall doesn't start until September 22nd. They said they're open fall, so I'm thinking late September, probably when you probably see them open. If they announce anything, we will keep you posted. All right. What else did I have? Let me pull out the thing. I am sorry. After I pull out the iPad, I got to get back in order.
I can help you out with that. Next thing was Hello Dunk.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Apex site on Ring Road has changed.
Yes. Ring Road. It's been called the Apex Center. It's gone through, I think this is version 4 at least, of owners, design, concept. So they did meet with the city. We're waiting for the official agenda, but their name was on there. So this is a corner of Peterson and Ring Road. So that spot right there. Originally, it was going to be 2 separate buildings of about 7 or 8 spots each. They've had it as a walk around. Originally, that's where the fish place was going to be, where cheese sticks were going to be, but it's changed so many times. Now, this time, they have settled on a 4-unit building. There's a sign out there that shows it. Looks like the phone number is listed to call your title. And it's going to be Dunkin' Donuts. There'll be E-Town Dunkin' Donuts number 3. Will be on the left corner. There are 2 tenant spaces available for lease. I don't know the rates. I don't know the square footage at all. Doesn't give me any of that yet. I haven't seen a leasing plan for this. And then it says Ring Road Liquor on the right, which John and Rachel and I talked about. That we got a couple liquor stores that are now on the way. I know Kroger lost one or closed it or whatever they did. So Publix Liquors is coming. That sign is up. Rachel and I know of one that we'll talk about later on. Now we know about this one. There's at least 3 liquor stores on the way and that's just because E-Town's growing. I mean, John will tell you that it's based on population. So the more people that live here, the more liquor stores we can have separate. So that is coming. I don't know when Apex is going to break ground. I don't know when its projected opening is, and obviously don't know who the 2 new spots are going to be. Now we're going to go to a closing. I will say I've never been to this place. I am not an adventurous eater like some of you all are. I don't do sushi. I'm sure some of you all have been there, but Sim Sushi and Steak, Cool Springs, it's the one restaurant that outlasted everybody once they became a very medical building. They have announced that they will be closing by the end of the year. They will not be, I don't know, I'm assuming they probably just didn't either retiring or didn't renew their lease for 2027. But they haven't given an exact date. They said that they will be closing in 2026. The servers are posting it. I went out there to take pictures. It gets good reviews. I mean, it's highly rated on Yelp.
Oh, you don't even know how heartbreaking this is for me. Like, love that place. Been consistently going for all the years it's been open. I mean, I can remember back a decade to going to Sims. I mean, it truly is an incredible spot with great food. It's a huge loss to our
And it
community
lasted
for sure.
quite a while in a spot that people sometimes drive by and don't even realize it's there. It's like when Cool Springs first opened, I'm sure me and John remember Beef O'Brady's was kind of the hangout spot there for a while at a fitness place. I mean, obviously it's evolved because you, as Rachel knows, in commercial, you got to fill a spot. You got to pay the bills. You want people to stay there. So as it kind of merged to the medical, people call it Baptist Hospital Ring Road. That's what it became. But Sam was always there. Like Sam the last 13 years, and I'm sure Britton will tell you too, 13 years as a small business restaurant, it's a heck of a run. It's just not my type of food, but it gets good reviews. I saw the comments. People love this place. I'm sure hopefully everybody shows them some love before they close. I don't have a date of exactly. I'm sure they'll announce it soon. Obviously, I don't think they're closing anytime soon, but just make sure you get out there by the end of 2020. We do have a grand opening coming up this weekend. Double grand opening is coming up. Hellbound Blossom. They do flowers and other things, and Ashomatic party planning. Join us for the grand opening. Saturday, 2 to 6. Ribbon cutting starts at 1:30. It's located at 404 College Street Road, Suite 105. What to expect? I'm going to read this directly off their post, so that way they can't get me for anything. Your community, you're cordially invited to the re-grand opening of Spellbound Blossom and Ashmack Party Planning. Your local flower girl and favorite party planner under the same roof. Spellbound Blossom, you get custom floral arrangements or grab and go. Herbal bath salts. I guess it's herbal, but there's an H, so I'm going to say the H. First access to the new limited edition scent and bath salts, mini apothecary, and custom photo area and more. With Ashomatic, you get first look at freshly renovated bit space, restored industrial concrete flooring, accommodation of 72 people. So if you need a big group, big class reunions, family reunions, seems like it's got the space. AC, Wi-Fi, and sound system. Again, ribbon cuttings at 1:30. Operational hours will be 2 to 6. Show that on my Facebook page. So do for that. So yeah, let's talk about Duncan, Wawa, and again, this is they could get one more time. This is off the clock. This is upstairs at the Assembly Social Food Hall. I think I'm getting distorted, but
You're okay on the live.
now this is the cool room.
I
This
know
is what they call the vault.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, happens when you're walking around
Yeah.
back there. But he is live on location at, let me put photos, at Off the Clock, the new spot that's about to open in Social Food Hall. And if you haven't seen, you walk around it earlier, you already did. Awesome. You are back.
All right, yeah, this is the vault, which is the private tasting room. It also has a door to that patio.
It also has
As you
weak
can
Wi-Fi,
tell.
I guess.
Well, thing is, I'm running the Wi-Fi off my hotspot in my pocket, so
Okay. Well, it's working
it
good.
should be.
Other than that, it's working.
All right. No, but this is a neat room. It holds about, let me do the math here, at least 11 chairs. This is one of its other spots, and it's literally the vault because it is behind a security door.
Yes. And we do know that they
So-
have talked a lot about their curated bourbon. Hard to find bourbons, tequila's local product.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
sure that y'all could have them on one of your shows to talk about or come out here. But again, I'm not the best person to be talking about alcohol. I'm probably the worst person on the show to be talking about alcohol. So the fact that I'm out here blows my mind. It's neat. I mean, it's a beautiful facility. Like, all sorts of stuff. I mean, if you have a brand, they probably do have it. I'm looking like right. They got Four Roses right in front of me. Old Forester, Heaven Hill, Wild Turkey, Jim Beam.
That's great. Looks like they've really done a
Monkey
lot of
Shoulder.
work.
I'm assuming that's a thing. Elijah Craig, Chicken Cook, or Chicken Cock. All right, never heard of that brand. Can't believe I said that other.
It's okay.
Knob Creek, Penelope, Angel's Envy, Monk's Road.
He is
That's
there.
just
They
what
got
I
a
see right
ton
in
of
front of me.
bourbons, right, Nick? Got a ton of bourbon. They're gonna have a lot of hard to get though.
What was that word you said, Nick?
Let me turn that back up. Hold on. What'd you say?
What was that word you said? Was that your favorite word?
This is a great time to jingle you out.
If business is buzzing, it already knows it's Nate's Biz Buzz.
Yeah. Nate's Business Buzz.
Thank you, Nate.
Nate, I loved having you on site. This was kind of cool. I think we might need to make this part of the gig. We might need you on site every single week because that was pretty cool to see it. I hadn't even heard about this bar. I am stoked about that opening up. So, all right, perfect. Well, we're gonna.
I'm defending myself. I said that wrong.
Ask if they have any non-alcoholic beer.
I bet they do.
Probably
I
not.
don't know if it's not alcoholic. They do have Bermuda Stone ginger beer here. So there you go. But to answer your question, cocktails,
Ginger beer has a little bit of that one may have a little alcohol. Usually, ginger beer has alcohol. It's like low ABV. It's like low ABV, but yeah.
It says non-alcoholic
but-
but camera's off camera. They will have mocktails.
Cool.
And they do have NA downstairs, so they probably will have it upstairs.
Oh yeah, you have everything downstairs too. So you've got all that stuff that you can do. If you need any cokes or whatever. You have all that downstairs at your disposal. I appreciate y'all. Now that I'm in town, I gotta get going.
All right. Thanks, Nate. All right. Well, John and Phil, you guys are going to come on up and talk about Bourbon Local.
We are.
Hey, man, what's up?
What's up? I think that
It is very hot out there.
That's on Nick.
Okay.
So here's the short version, and you saw a taste of it. Bourbon Local is a new show. Same idea as Hardin Local, but it's statewide, and we're using bourbon as the theme that ties. We're going to be talking about bourbon. It's not going to be just a bourbon podcast all the time. We'll be talking about culture, events, business, everything that, except we'll just have a much larger audience. Hardin Local is kind of like just the one little version. So in the future, I'd really like to have Louisville Local, Lexington Local, and tie it all over that one brand. But anyway, John, why don't you tell people who's actually running it?
So again, it's Jess Ann, yourself, and myself. Again, we all have known each other for a little while, and kind of bumped our heads together and came up with this little idea. Jess Ann's been in the bourbon industry for quite a while. She works out at Zach Cooperage. She's known as the Bourbon Insider. I have enjoyed these spirits quite a bit and have been a bartender for a little over 4 years. So kind of in that industry now. I'm the bourbon bodhisattva. And then Phil, we don't have a name for you. I feel like that's something we need to maybe during episode like 0, like we need to like all brainstorm and kind of organically come up with something for your name. Like you're the guy in the seat, you're the guy in the chair, you're helping us out. We got to figure that out because you don't have like a little tag like name for yourself.
I don't yet, but I like it. We'll work on that on it. The pilot, which we're calling episode 0, goes live this Sunday, October 16th at 9 p.m. and it's simulcast on both Facebook and X. We'll start live streaming on YouTube once we have enough. Once we meet do that channels, but you can go to bourbonlocal.com to find I think I have the links up there for the live streams. If not, they'll be up there today. You can also search for on Facebook, Bourbon Local. We'll have the links for you, and you can also go to X and look us up there as well if you use X at the same time. And I'll tease this much: we've added a special guest for the pilot. I'm not going to name them right now. That's part of the fun of tuning in Sunday. We will put out who the special guest is. Not today. And if you were paying attention, was it Mitchers? Oh wait. Did we just throw that in there? Oh, Mitchers, the thing at Cavern Club, that's the exact kind of thing we're going to be talking about on Bourbon Local, except around the state. So, consider this a little appetizer of what we're going to be doing. I was going to throw in just a couple little y'all a little bit. Something's been brewing in Kentucky.
Hi, I'm Jess Ann. I live and work inside of the bourbon industry, and I'm going to tell you what no one else will.
And I'm the JOB. Bourbon's not about tasting, it's about the people. And I know where the stories are.
This is Bourbon Local. Culture, community, and the barrel that ties Kentucky together. Coming in August.
1, 2, 3,
go. We can't. We have no.
Yeah.
There we go. It's close. It was close. We almost got it. And then we got some industry sizzle here.
The industry deserves a better coverage than tasting scores and hype. Bourbon Local is live, it's honest, and it spotlights the people that are actually here building the culture. If you're doing something worth talking about, we want you in, launching it this September.
And we're actually launching early.
A little early, that's right.
Here's one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
TW Samuels. Heaven Hill, TW Samuels, bottled and bottled.
Question is your favorite.
It's
right?
delicious.
Or best.
It's amazing. The budget one. Favorite budget.
Yeah, favorite budget.
Right there. Samuels. Buy it if you can.
All right. That's just a little taste of what we'll be doing. And like I said, Bourbon Local, episode 0, the pilot, this Sunday, 9 p.m., live on Facebook. If you missed us live, you can still watch it. We'll be publishing that stuff just like we do on Hardin Local. So we're excited about it, aren't we?
Can't wait. Oh, yeah, it's going to be so much fun. Like I said, Victor, the taste.
And having a little issue with sound. We'll wait 1 minute till we're back, and then we'll move on.
Can you hear me, Phil?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just had a brief question. Obviously, I am kind of a bourbon whiskey drinker at like the most basic level. Like I've had like a couple like bourbon lemonades that I love. So is this show going to be beginner friendly or is it for the people who already know their mash bill?
Very beginner friendly. That's what I think, and kind of what I like to focus on with anything. I feel like no one dislikes whiskey. They just haven't found the one that fits them right.
Mm.
And it's not about somebody telling you which one you're going to like. It's about you discovering which one you like with some help. And we're having actually a tasting at BBT next Saturday, which kind of is that similar thing. It's a blind tasting where you don't know what you're drinking. It's curated by me and Stacy here, and there's no judgment on it. So people just taste it, smell it, and rate it, and kind of figure out what they like without knowing what it is, without me saying you're gonna like this because it tastes like this and that. You taste it for yourself. You enjoy it for yourself. Um, so yeah, we can always start somewhere and build from that. Again, you'll find something that you like because everybody likes those flavors that are in whiskey. It's just the proof, the cocktail. I mean, you can have it in anything, and we can make it happen.
Yeah, and
Well,
I also
I need to try that. I need to come to the tasting. And I'm excited to watch the show because I feel like I'm getting to the stage of life where I should be sipping on bourbon and whiskey.
yeah, and we'll also be having our own event calendar on there, just like Hardin Local does, covering all the events that are related, and mostly events that people are going to entertainment, either bourbon type event, food restaurants. It'll be a much larger footprint, and as well
Yeah,
as
and
that,
it's the culture behind it. Again, we were
yeah,
talking about that, the community and culture behind it, and it's bigger than just the spirit, right? And bigger just than Kentucky, because I was talking about on our one of our little things we were doing earlier with Bourbon Local, where if you're drinking something that somebody else is drinking, you're local to them, and that brings you together. So you could be 8,000 miles away, but if you're drinking the same thing, experiencing the same experience as somebody else, then you're local to them.
yeah. It's kind of
Hey,
like
with that in
where,
mind,
well, one second, Scott. It's kind of like to tag onto that. It's like, we could have picked like Kentucky local, Kentucky Wildcats local, but there's Louisville and there's other sports teams. So we tried to pick a theme that the whole state can get behind it. But anyway, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, with that in mind, do you all have plans on maybe like going to like were you tasting their bourbon, kind of like you're doing like the tasting, or you're just going to be in one central location like BBT?
In the beginning, we'll be doing it like we do this, where we're all in a different location. But
Okay, cool.
as things progress and as money comes in to where we can do those sorts of things, or if we have sponsors that want to us to come out, yeah, we definitely want to go to some of those spots local around the state, plus on the Bourbon Trail and any of those. Definitely, I think that pretty much covers what we're going on with
All
Bourbon
right.
Local. So we hope to see
I'm
you
gonna
guys.
bounce out for lunch. You
All
guys,
right.
thank y'all so much.
See ya, John. Alrighty, Rachel. I think we're done. So we can move on to your.
Awesome. I'm super excited to jump into the housing market update.
You get you.
Rachel's
Okay.
got the number. Who's selling? What's hot on the block? Get update.
And Phil, it's very blurry on my side, so I'm not sure if it's my internet or if it's just loading.
It's just the
But
way I
we-
have it on the back end. It looks crystal clear on the live.
Okay, perfect. Good. I wanted to make sure it wasn't my internet. So awesome. Well, welcome back to Hardin Local. I'm Rachel Brantingham, and every week we look at what's happening in the Hardin County housing market, but more importantly, what those numbers are actually telling us and what they mean for you. And this week, I want to talk about something that goes much deeper than price, value, because buyers are still buying. In fact, we saw a significant increase in homes going under contract this week, and we've also watched several higher priced properties move recently. But today's buyer is paying close attention. They're not simply asking, do I like this house? They're asking, is this a good investment? And they're two very different questions, okay? So I want to jump into this week's numbers, keeping in mind that this information is all pulled from the Heart of Kentucky Association of Realtors, MLS. For this week, that is today through Tuesday of last week, we had 40 new listings come to the market, 28 homes go under contract. 11 homes closed. So 11 families moved into their new homes. We currently have 408 active listings with 104 homes sold during the last 30 days. Average days on market is about 81 days. The average list price is $352,052, while the average sold price is $309,670. And our median sold price across Hardin County is $296,700. Based on our current sales pace, Hardin County is sitting at approximately 3.9 months of inventory. That's a very balanced overall market. But here's where things get interesting. So here's our slide. It kind of breaks all that down for you. Of course, I'm always going to just push you back to Hardin Local. We have an incredible housing database that shows you all of these stats. They're always at your fingertips if you missed them during this podcast. Last week, only 15 homes went under contract. This week, 28 homes. That's an 80% week over week increase in new contracts. You know how we've been talking about how the market slowed down over July 4th, and if we were going to see this surge of sales that kind of occurred right here before school starts? Well, it happened exactly as I hoped it would. 28 homes went pending. Now, I'm always cautious against making sweeping conclusion from 1 week's numbers. Real estate naturally moves in cycles, and back to school absolutely affects consumer behavior. But combined with what we're experiencing in the field, it's very encouraging. Buyer activity remains incredibly steady. We've recently watched several higher priced homes find buyers as well. We're not experiencing a market where buyers will purchase just anything, though. We're experiencing a market where buyers will move when they recognize value, and that's a very important distinction. Inside this market that you're staring at, there are actually several micro markets, okay? And I want to break those down kind of quickly for you. 50,000. Keeping in mind that the median sale price in Hardin County across the county is $296,750. So well below that median sale price, $250,000. We have 90 active homes and 33 sales during the last 30 days. That's approximately 2.7 months of inventory. This makes it a seller's market, okay? So if you're a seller that is looking to sell in that price point, you're probably going to experience multiple offers if you have your property prepped and priced appropriately. You're a buyer entering that market, make sure that you're ready to go, that you've got your pre-approval in order, and then if it's the right home, you are ready to move. Between 250 and 400,000, we have 203 active listings and 56 sales. That's approximately 3.6 months of inventory. Once again, we're kind of edging towards, we're really in a balanced market, but we're edging towards a buyer's market there in that price category. And we're also seeing a bulk of the inventory. Keep in mind, 203 active listings in that price point. A lot of homes in that 250 to 400, which kind of also goes back to like the affordable housing conversation. You know, there's some work going on at Frankfurt to try to review this issue and concern that our communities are having. But obviously, with the majority of the homes moving into that 250 to 400 bracket, that is where properties have increased in value towards. And so we're really seeing a gap in what's available under that 250 mark. Between 400,000 and 600,000, we have 85 active listings and only 12 sales. That is a very buyer-friendly market price point currently, okay? Between 600,000 and 800,000, we have 19 active listings with 5 sales, putting us back towards that 3.8 months of inventory. But time on market is a little higher on that one. That's about 115 days on market. Luxury, anything over 800,000, we currently have 12 active listings and 1 sale during the last 30 days. That's approximately 12 months of inventory. And with 1 sale, I'd really caution against reading too much into that number. Luxury is a smaller market, so 1 or 2 transactions can dramatically change the absorption rate from week to week. You really want to, if you're looking to purchase in that price point or if you're looking to sell, you really want to find yourself an agent who understands luxury and how to present it, how to sell it, how to market it, because it is its own little market piece, it's really, really hard to evaluate based on what the rest of the price points are moving at. So what I really want consumers to understand right now, okay, so there is a difference between value when it comes to quality and pricing, okay? Okay. So oftentimes I see buyers focus on what they can see, which is beautiful staging, fresh paint, great furniture, perfect landscaping. Those things obviously matter tremendously. They create emotional and visual value, and presentation absolutely impacts how buyers respond to a property. But if you're making what may be the largest investment of your life, I really encourage you to look beyond the paint colors, okay? How was the home constructed? What's the quality of the materials and workmanship? What major systems will need attention in the coming years? Where is the property located and what's happening around it? Will it increase in value, or is what's coming nearby going to decrease its value? And perhaps most importantly, how is this location positioned to perform over the next 10 to 15 years? A beautifully staged home can make you fall in love and kind of forget the rest of the story, and making sure that you're actually making a good investment. But a good real estate decisions require us to look beyond what photographs well. The goal isn't simply to buy a beautiful home. The goal is to buy a good asset. That's where a knowledgeable representation matters. There have been so many times where the paint and staging captured my buyer's attention. And obviously, in no way did I want to deter them from their decision, but I also was able to inform them of things that existed beyond that paint to ensure that as they matured in this home and as the years passed, that property would grow in value. And so having good representation that understands how homes are built and what lies beyond the paint color is really, really important. Sellers are spending an incredible amount of time preparing their properties before putting them on the market. We had a burst of listings. I think people have gotten through that back to school, and now we're starting to see people preparing because you have about a key window here over the next 60 days to get your home on the market and marketed properly before we head into the holiday season. Once you get into the holidays and then into winter, the market slows down dramatically. So condition is incredibly important. If you are considering selling this before the end of 2026 or in the spring of 2027, go ahead and start evaluating your property. Invite a real estate agent over to give you some good input as far as what are the things that are actually going to move the needle and going to create value, and you're going to actually be able to get that value back out when you go to sell versus making changes that are just going to cost you and probably get torn out by the next buyer. Quick word on rates, guys, and then I'm going to wrap up. Rates this week are approximately 6.75 conventional and 6.25 for FHA, VA, USDA financing. Of course, that is all dependent on your credit. There is some continued discussion around the possibility of a softer rate environment in the months ahead. Obviously, none of us have a crystal ball, but I'm hearing it from multiple professionals in the industry that it sounds like we will start to see those rates drop. Now, here's the play that I would recommend. When rates drop, house prices go up. So my recommendation is to capture the market today, get a really good deal that has a lot of value built into it, and then refinance in the future. All right, guys. Well, that is all I have for our housing market update this year.
Just got the numbers, who's
All right, we're going to jump into the experienced eater because I missed lunch today and I'm about to get so excited. I cannot wait to watch this and fuel my hunger pains even further. So we will play your jingle, and Britten will let you take it away.
What are you going to be talking about today, Britten? I guess we have. Let me just restart. All right, time for the Experienced Eater, Hardin County's go-to foodie review. Britten McDowell is actually here live with us this week. Michelle's not able to join today, but Britten sent us something good. Back in the spring, they were at the grand opening of a new spot in Red Cliff, Sabre Cubano, Cuban and Puerto Rican food counter, but it also has counter service. They loved it. And like Britten always says, if they go early after an opening, they always go back and do another. That's what Britten went back for a revisit to see how it's holding up after they got their sea legs. Britten, set it up for us, and we'll roll it.
So, guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm always excited to, if somewhere's good enough that I say, hey, I'll go back there. That's one of my that's kind of one of my criteria, because there's a lot of places that we go that we'll sit down and we have the meal and we get done and we go out and we wrap it up and say, I don't have a reason to come back. Maybe it's because we had their most popular dishes, or maybe it's because it wasn't a great experience. And one of the things is there's a ton of content that you guys don't ever see, because if it's a really bad experience, I don't post it. I don't want to hurt somebody's business or be there with it. But going back here to Sabor Cubano in Radcliffe, I went back. A friend of mine said, "Hey, let's go have lunch." He said, "I want to try this place out." I was like, "Well, I've been there. It's great. So let's go back." And something happened that I was extremely excited about. Oftentimes, somebody they start out and they can make a good product, but I think anybody in any business, you want to see the product in month 5 or 6 be better than the product in month 1 or 2. When a realtor starts out, Rachel, you want her. They may be okay in year 1, but they ought to be a lot better in year 2, and they ought to be really impressive by year 5. And so I think in the restaurant business, when you can go back and revisit someone and you see that they have made an improvement and things have gotten better, their systems are better, the food's better, then it's something to be excited about. And that's exactly what happened to us with that trip to Sabor a couple of weeks ago. So, Phil, I think I narrated the video. I don't know how you're going to play it, however you want to. And let's take a look at it, because I had some things that I was very impressed with.
Cool. And I think I'm still running into that issue where I can't really pause it. I don't think. So when we play, you can still talk over it, but I can't.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry about pausing it. We'll get to it.
All right.
Hey guys, Experience Theater here. We're in Radcliffe, Kentucky today, and we're revisiting one of our favorite spots. These guys are new in the restaurant game here in town. They've been open for a few months. Before the podcast we did their today, grand I was
Oh,
at opening, Walmart,
and
I
the
heard
food
somebody
was
say, "Hey,
fantastic.
there's that
So
guy from
let's go see
TikTok."
what they have for us today.
And so
at
we went to
Sabor
we've been to a
Cuban
couple other
Cafe. Here we
events,
go.
and we had several people that
All right,
recognized
guys,
us from
I'm gonna tell you,
the podcast too, which that's always exciting. So you
love
can just kind of
the
see here.
counter
This is
service
their
idea they have
their
here. You
lunch
come
line.
down
You
and
go
pick your
through,
meat,
and
your
they'll
sides,
have a couple of different combinations that are available. They go through and you can get. Everything I've had has been really good. They had a braised pork or a braised beef today that I was there that was fantastic, and I crave those. Those are empanadas. Rachel, that's something right up your alley. A little handmade fried pie, unbelievable. And then this is the Cuban sandwich, and that is always a classic. So that was the braised beef. It had a kind of a fajita taste to it, the way it was seasoned, and then they had the braised beef on. These are like plantain sliders. Not a fan of plantains, but those were very tasty for an item. And there's a specific name for it. I can't remember what it is, but they have those. They actually have them with the type of shrimp that they have going on right now too, available during the week. And so the biggest thing that I'll say the takeaway was that I saw I saw a significant improvement in their seasoning. Their flavors were a lot stronger, and they've really found their stride there as they have went through and prepared for, or as they have got food truck to brick and mortar. And the day we were there on a Wednesday, and we got there at 11 o'clock, and by 11:45 there was not a table, there was not a seat left, and there was as much food going out the door and carry out as there was for sit down, which is always a great sign for a restaurant, especially that's in that first 6 months phase of business. So if you guys, if you're looking for some authentic Cuban Puerto Rican food, Wilson Road, Radcliffe is where Sabor Cuban is. Sabor Cuban is. You got to go give these guys a shot. This is an experience you got to eat. I mean, they're doing a great job.
Hey, Britten, as a local restaurant, what are their hours of operation? Do you know? As far as
I believe they're 11 to 4 every day. I don't have that pulled up exactly right now. Let me check to make sure, because I know they're open for lunch and then later in the day.
Okay.
Well, while you're checking on that, we do know they're in Radcliffe, and the Cuban sandwich is a work of art. We know you think that too. So that's another quick thing you could touch on.
So they are they're open 11 to 7 Tuesday through Friday, and then 11:30 to 6:30 Saturday and Sunday. So them being open on Sunday, that's a good thing to know, because I'm going to tell you, I get done with church. Our church is just a couple of blocks behind them through the woods. I could go right by there on my way home, and that means I can take a Cuban sandwich home, have my Cuban sandwich for lunch, and then get my ritual Saturday or Sunday afternoon nap, which is kind of my favorite thing to do. I camp out and lock the dogs out of the bedroom, and I go back to bed.
Sounds like you thought it was even better this time around than the grand opening. That's a good sign for a new restaurant.
Well, I think with anybody that's in food service, you have your recipes, but you get that first wave of customers and you get that feedback, and I'm sure they have some trusted customers to be like, hey, we really like this. I wish this flavor was a little bit stronger. Like one of the things they have on the menu, it's a really unique thing. It's called cassava. It's actually a stewed yucca root. And so, if you've ever seen it, it looks like a piece of wood. And then you skin it, and then it's a white. It's kind of like a potato, but it's called cassava. And she had really improved her flavor in that because I thought that was a little bland the first time, but the way it was seasoned was much better. And those are just things you get excited about when you find people that they're open to feedback. I'm sure they've had some of their trusted customers say, hey, my mom used to do it this way. I want to try this or do that. And there's a fine line because you can't please everybody, but taking some constructive advice there to improve things, I think is definitely do it. And their business is showing it because it's a small place and there's as much carry out going on as there is people eating it. And I'm going to tell you the thing that I haven't done yet is I haven't gotten into any of their desserts. They had a really impressive dessert case. They had some tres leches cakes and some other things that were pretty impressive.
Well, I'm a big believer that things get better with time, so I have not made it over there yet, but I'm super excited. That address is 359 South Wilson Road in Radcliffe, Kentucky. So you're going to want to make your way over there. And once again, the hours of operation are 11 to 7 Tuesday through Friday, and then 11:30 to 6:30 on Saturday and Sunday. So
one thing I'll tell you guys, if you're interested in what they're doing, look them up on Facebook, Sabor Cubano, and look them up because it's fascinating. They do a really good job with their social media. They show their specials of the day, and they do a really good job of promoting that, so you can know what's going on there every day as you take a look. And if I had a place, that's what I would do. Is at 9:30 in the morning, I'd be rolling out a reel or a video saying, "Hey, here's the special of the day," and trying to make as many people as I can hungry and trying to be front of mind. And they're doing some things like that, which is always refreshing to see they're working their business and their social media like that.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Bottom line from Britten, it sounds like live and in person this time. Sabre, Cubona, and Radcliffe is still delivering. Empanadas are the move. The Cuban sandwich is a two-person meal, and it sounds like they've only gotten better since. Go check them out. What should Britten and Michelle review next? Do you have anything coming up you're excited about?
So I was going to say, look, guys, the Experience Sager Facebook page or my personal page, Britton McDowell. Feel free to connect on us with us. If people see us out and about, and you got that space that we need to check out, please come say hi. Say, hey, you need to check this out. We always have time to chit chat and visit. I'm a people person when I'm in public, and I'm an introvert when I'm at home. But be happy to love to know where we need to check out next. I've got a few things in the queue coming up. I think next week we might we had a really good revisit to Namaste, Indian, a couple weeks ago. Some other local places. Since our work situation has changed a little bit, we're definitely being focused a little bit more locally because we're not quite on the road as much as we have been in the past. So we're looking for those special places to go and hit up.
Well, thank you, Britton. Before we wrap up, do we have any comments that we need to pull up onto the screen?
There's a few. I still have an issue. It's hard for me to see them across the different. But I did want to make a couple. Terry C. Wise said, watching from the metropolitan.
Metropolitan. I got you.
In Glendale. And we thank you for joining us, Terry. Also said, our girls are in their 30s now, but when they were young, it was picking out backpacks. That effort into that was intense, and that was one of their things that they did. We also had a few comments from Snow Dogs Food Truck, which we love to see. Hello there, and I'm sure they're out there in the heat enjoying it. And he said that his tradition, the only tradition I can remember, was picking out the metal lunchbox that we would use. Never lasted more than a month. Or lost or bent beyond recognition. We'd love to see you guys. And there's some other ones in here. I just like, they're all, threaded, and I can't get them all. So, and I
Okay.
know we've already like up against our time
Extended
limit.
our time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll just move on. But thank you guys. Keep coming. Keep commenting. I will get this fixed with this new system where we can just. For now, I have to do it.
Okay, guys. So quick recap of the week. White Mills Days is Friday and Saturday. You're not going to want to miss it. Duck race, fireworks, parade, barbecue chicken. I mean, if that doesn't summarize summer, I don't know what would. And then we've got the Bourbon Locals first ever episode goes live Sunday at 9. That is for anyone who is interested or loves or wants to learn to love the bourbon and whiskey and all the different local aspects of it. So looking ahead, Jace and Missy Robertson are in town Saturday morning at First Christian Church for Helping Hand of Hope. And the Kiwanis Gatsby Gala is Saturday night at the Haycraft. Phil, did you want to mention something about Wawa?
Yeah, and we'll keep following up on the Wawa story. If we learn about that 4-hour gap, you'll hear from us. And as soon as we get our open record request back, we'll publish something. We just haven't published it yet. Wanted the full story for putting it out there.
Awesome. Guys, everything from today and the full events calendar, the housing page, and where to watch Bourbon Local Sunday is all at hardinlocal.com. Subscribe free at hardinlocal.com and the weekly recap lands in your inbox. How much easier can it get? Subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/@hardinlocal and find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, and Amazon Music. Follow the page, of course, on Facebook at Facebook.com/hardinlocal. And one more time, Bourbon Local this Sunday at 9 p.m. live on Facebook and X. Don't miss it. We're back next Tuesday, same time, same place. We'll see you then.
Have a great week, everyone.
Peace out.